Hey there. Remember ties, where we would take a note and we would tie it to another note? Or we could take a quarter note and tie it to another quarter note, and that would be the same as a half note, because two quarter notes, half note. And the idea with a tie is that we play the first note and then we add the second note onto it. Well, there's a little shorthand we have, and it is called the dot. Now, a dot goes after a note. For example, this half note. If we put a dot, what that means is you add to this half note another half of a half note. Whatever note this dot follows, it is a half. This is what is happening. A half note is two quarter notes, or if you want to think of it, half of a half note is a quarter note. So it is a half note plus a quarter note. And so if a quarter note gets one beat and a half note gets two beats, this tied half note to a quarter note would get three beats. And that's the same thing as a dotted half note. It's a half note plus this dot plus another half of a half note. Here we have a quarter note tied to an eighth note. Well, what a coincidence. An eighth note is half of a quarter note. So this is the same as a quarter note with a dot. If the quarter note equals 1, how much is a quarter note tied to an eighth note? Well, that would be 1 plus another half. So it would be 1.5. So if the quarter note equals 1, this would get 1.5, 1.5 beats. Now, what if the eighth note equals 1? Actually, let's not even worry about this one. Let's look down here. What if the eighth note equals 1? Then how many beats is this? Well, same thing. Without the dot, the quarter note is 2/8 notes. Quarter note is 2/8 notes. So the quarter note would get 2. The dot would add another eighth note. So this would equal 3. See how that works? Any note could be dotted. We could have a whole note, and it could be dotted, which would be equal to a whole note tied to whatever half of a whole note is. And what's half of a whole note? Yeah, a half note. These are the same. And that's all a dot is. It is x plus 1/2 x. Look, algebra. But seriously, a dot adds half of the note it follows, and it's just like a tie, but it's just using the one note. Okay? Dot. Have a great day.